Can't hear you, Alex.
Just so softly spoken, Alex.
Give that one to Dan. Give that one to Dan.
We're alright with this. Let's go, Steve.
Right, we're ready. We're ready. We'll be quick because we're waiting for main course. So before I start, did anyone win the sweepstake on the length of the groom's speech? No, funny that. So ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have noticed how unusually organised and together Gary is today, I can modestly say that it's predominantly due to his oversized entourage, which includes 3 best men. That's right, 3 people's day ruined for having the speech looming. So when the 3 of us got together to rigorously plan the best man's speech, we weren't totally sure how it's going to work. Don't get me wrong, we have a hell of a lot of material on our subject matter, much of it completely unrepeatable. Then we struck gold. Our researchers came across 2 very important items of material. So, firstly, I give you Lucy's rather tasteful and carefully considered diary. Secondly, if Alex would hold up, a somewhat more bright and feminine journal, I introduced Gary's diary, which is littered with spelling mistakes, but of course no less personal. So what better way to give you an insight in the dynamics of such a great couple, and illustrate so many of Gary's obvious flaws, than by reading their different viewpoints from their memoirs. You may hear stories which slightly contradict what you've already heard today. Obviously, this is best man's speech, so clearly the truth. We will start with some key moments of their history and then conclude with some recent events. Alex will read Gary's diary, I will read Lucy's, and Dan will do some narration.
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, picture the scene, if you will, as we travel back to the previous millennium. We were all at the true pinnacle of academic excellence that is the University of Exeter. I read somewhere recently that Exeter is now statistically the easiest university which one can gain a first class or 2-1 honours degree from. Well, not in our day, I assure you of that. Alex and Steve will both attest to that one. I, of course, can't. Anyway, Lucy was a fresh-faced 20-year-old. Gary, ever so slightly older, as you've heard. In fact, as he's admitted, we thought he was, in fact, a mature student. Worse than that, a mature student that had failed a couple of years and resit them. So it was towards the end of our 2nd year, and this is where the diaries start to get interesting.
Dear diary, I think I found the one. Our eyes met on campus, and I can tell she's interested. Hey, what are the odds of me being able to work my old charms? Particularly, given it's the first time I've been to lectures for about 2 years. I also saw her last night on the dance floor, so I bought her a few of my famous moves.
Dear diary, this guy keeps staring at me. So I've decided not to walk home alone from campus anymore. He was in my lectures and I've never seen him before. He also snuck up behind me on the dance floor last night and proceeded to try and impress me with a drunken rendition of S Club 7. Yours, Lucy.
Dear diary, finally she has succumbed to my charms. I've still got it. I think last night was the start of a beautiful thing. Lucy and I had our first kiss. Love and hugs, Gary.
Dear diary, oh my head. I don't think I've ever drank that much in my entire life. Can't really remember much. But I know the stalker was there. Gareth, I think his name was. And it must have been the drink talking, but I think I kissed him. Oh well. It's unlikely that I'll see him at lectures again. Yours, Lucy.
Dear diary, I missed the entire week of lectures again. But Alex and Steve brought back the notes as per usual. But more importantly, they said they put in some groundwork with Lucy for me. What great mates. Hugs and kisses, Gary.
Dear Gary, I sat next to Alex and Steve at lectures today. They were a bit surprised, given the warnings they gave me about Gary. But they said they would try and let him down gently. What great friends. Yours, Lucy.
So at this point, we skip forward a few months through what we all know was a difficult summer for the couple, to the third and final year of university. The diaries continue the story.
Dear Diary, I had a frank discussion with Lucy today about the case that's just about to happen. I told her it might take a bit of my time, but it'll probably be over in about 6 months. She was very understanding. Hugs and kisses, Gary.
Dear Diary, Gary and I spoke today about the case. He said it won't take long, but I'm not convinced. I'm thinking years more than months. So I told him there better be a bloody massive ring by the end of it. Yours, Lucy.
Dear Diary, I met Lucy's parents today, and I naturally charmed the socks off them. They just seemed to hit it off straight away. It's probably because there's not much of an age gap. My new designer stubble went down very well as well.
Dear Diary, what a disaster. Gary met Mum and Dad today. He did not bother to shave, and then dispense with any formalities. After calling them Richie and Magsy all day, he then asked if it was okay to address him as Mum and Dad. Yours, Lucy.
There then seems to be about 10 years' worth of missing entries in the two diaries, and I can pretty much summarise them for you. Lucy spent those years as the main breadwinner, during which time she tried to fill her CV up as much as she could, working for as many household brand names as possible. Kingsmill and Quorn, Shock Absorber Bras and Ambrosia. Lucy was kept very busy by Gary. Gary's CV for this time, on the other hand, was a little more sparse. He could probably most accurately be described as a rogue trader, or maybe even amateur DIY enthusiast. So we're now going to fast forward to more recent times and see if their thoughts are on a more consistent wavelength. We hear first from Gary again.
Dear Diary, I think the longer we've been going out, the more Lucy has been impressed by my brilliant taste in fashion. I am really cool. Hugs and kisses, Gary.
Dear Diary, I don't think I can cope with Gary copying everything I buy anymore. As if the skinny jeans and trendy jacket weren't bad enough. He's even gone for the same hat, sunglasses and flip-flops as me. I do really think this is going to last.
And then finally, to the momentous day we had all been waiting for.
Dear Diary, what a perfect day. I proposed to Lucy today, and naturally she said yes. It couldn't have gone any better. It was all very emotional. We were down in Devon. The sun was shining, the sea was gently lapping against the shore. We shared a bottle of bubbly, and Lucy cuddled into my arms. And then there was the rain. What a cut, such clarity. The diamonds were glistening as the sun shone down. The perfect day, the perfect ring, such a perfect girl. Love and kisses, Gary.
Dear Diary, Gary proposed today about bloody time. Yours, Lucy.
Dear Diary, more wedding stuff to organise. After explaining about how carefully I'd selected the best men, we then discussed what we were wearing. Lucy mentioned something about a dress. I think it was some white or something, but I wasn't really listening. It just reminded me that I needed to get on to Savile Row, just to make sure that the suits were, it was all okay with the suits we were buying.
Dear Diary, today I told Gary that he had to be more decisive and choose one best man. 3 is clearly a cop-out, and it would increase the cost on suits. Gary said that at the very least he would strike a bargain with Moss Bros. Yours, Lucy.
Dear Diary, I had to think on my feet today as Lucy's got wind of the stag do. I explained that the best man wanted to go to Vegas. And I suggested we could keep it low-key if we went to Monte Carlo. And it completely cost her. I think she's bought it. Love, Gary.
Dear Diary, 5 years ago I came across Gary's stag do folder. And sure enough, they're off to Monte Carlo. The best man have explained that given Gary's insistence on Monte Carlo, they are having to fly to Nice via Rome to keep the cost down. Yours, Lucy.
Dear Diary, so tomorrow is our wedding day. Given our combined organisation efforts, it's going to be a great day with our loving families and loyal friends. And of course, I get to marry my soulmate and best friend. Loves and kisses, Gary.
Dear Diary, so tomorrow is our wedding day. Given my organisation efforts, it's going to be a perfect day with our loving families and loyal friends. And of course, I marry my soulmate and best friend, yours, Lucy. So, ladies and gentlemen, just back to the present, I'll now hand over to Dan, who will hopefully restore Gary's reputation for at least a few minutes.
Thank you, Alex, Steve. Before I start, just a couple of messages that we've been handed. Steve, turn off your microphone for a minute.
It is off.
Is it? Can everyone hear it properly now?
It's off.
Okay, thank you. Someone handed me a letter for some people who couldn't be here, so Gary, Lucy, I'm just going to read it to you. Dear Lucy and Gary, many congratulations on this very special day. Shall I just turn it off?
No, it's
Is it all right? Is that better?
Yes.
Thank you. Dear Lucy and Gary, many congratulations on this very special day. We're so very sorry we're not here with you, but we are thinking of you. Wishing you every happiness in your marriage. A toast to the bride and groom from Dubai. Love from Becky, Jason, Charlotte, Jessica and Georgina. And then there's another one as well. I didn't realise this, but we noticed a lady disappearing halfway through Gary's exceedingly long speech. She was bored senseless, like most of us. But her husband's still here. He's 80 today. Roy Fielden. Whereabouts are you, Roy? Happy birthday, Roy. So, I'm sure you'll all agree it's been a very memorable day already. And from the number of guests, it's clear that Gary and Lucy mean so much to so many people. It was therefore not really very much of a surprise to see that Gary's stag do in Monte Carlo was so well attended. Now, I'd love to give you some repartee and some anecdotes about the casinos, the yachts, the red wine, the fast cars, which would sum up the weekend very nicely. We did have a cracking time, and we do have Gary to thank for that, for the incredible venue, but to keep it simple, it is true what they say about Monte Carlo. It is bloody expensive. It is not suited to stag do's, and a Rome stop-off is neither original nor relaxing. Despite all this, the stag do was great fun, and it was a great send-off for Gary. It was good to meet new faces, and by the end of the weekend, it felt like everyone had known each other for years. John, thank you very much for ensuring Gary's safe return, given his rather pathetic bailing out on the return leg of the Rome experience. It was a great shame, of course, that we didn't get to meet the brothers-in-law, Adam and Simon, at the stag do. But I know Gary... Dan, he was there. Sorry, hang on. I've just been corrected. Simon was in attendance. Really? Where was he? Anyway, never mind, I digress. At this point, I must say a huge thank you to Alex and Steve for their combined efforts in organising the trip. I must say I felt like a complete fraud when at the end, all of the emails were pinging around afterwards thanking Stephen, Alex and me for organising it all. I have to confess, my only contributions to the entire weekend were almost getting us killed by a gorilla-like bouncer, and then getting us ejected from a nightclub for my rather obsessive desire to steal a tambourine from the band who were playing. Anyway, thanks Alex and Steve for organising it. Although it is, of course, our traditional and bounden duty to embarrass Gary as his best man, he is a great friend to all of us here. His generosity knows no bounds, and the three of us are so proud to be standing here as your best men. We have naturally ripped into you a bit, Gary, but on a serious note, given all you've gone through, and I know you won't want me to make a meal of this, but it has been a remarkable recovery you've made, and we all wish that we could have done more for you, both of you, during those difficult times. There can be few more kind and generous men than Gary. He has so often given his time and his energy to our children and to our families, helping most of us with DIY projects at some stage over the last 10 years, being a godsend and lifesaver with his children's entertainment. And although we have made comical mention of your Moss Bros efforts, Gary, we are honestly all incredibly grateful for your ridiculous generosity with these suits. I must confess that I'd never really heard of Oswald Boateng until recently. Any of you who know me and my fashionable ways will realise that this is not surprising. But I think it's fair to say, Gary, that single-handedly you've managed to help Mr. Boateng secure his company's financial balance sheets for the next 10 years or so. We naturally look forward, all of us, to using our jackets as goalposts and sliding around the dance floor on our made-to-measure trousers, playing air guitar later. Maggie and Rich, we know, as I'm sure you already know, that Gary will take great care of Lucy for you. They do make a fantastic couple. He's been exceedingly grateful to you both and to your extended family for the love and support you've all given him over the years. Today you should be proud to welcome Gary officially into your family as your third favourite son-in-law. Obviously fourth if you include John, but let's keep Gary in the medals for now, shall we? If I could end on a serious note though, Lucy and Gary are a special couple who mean so much to all of us. Lucy, on behalf of the three of us, you look stunning today. You've extended your kindness to our wives, who all view you as a great friend, and I can't think of anyone who has a bad word to say about you. We're all so pleased to be part of what is your bloody long-awaited special day. I also can't think of anyone who has a bigger supply of birthday cards or thank you cards than you. We've received numerous ones over the years, so thank you for that. For both of you, we know that behind the scenes, the last 14 years has thrown up some tough days. But to your friends and family, you have been a constant source of fun and generosity and loyalty. Our children love you. The number of children here earlier today is a testament to the time and the energy that you give to your friends and your family. And on behalf of everyone here, thank you so much for making us all feel such a good part of your memorable day. As they say, most people love a good wedding, given the opportunity it provides to catch up with friends and family, to enjoy a beautiful service, and to make the most of the party. And whilst all of those things are true of today, we know that it's so much more than that too. Today is the long-awaited day that we celebrate the amazing people that you are and the loving couple that you've become. We celebrate how you've overcome the challenges you've faced as an unbreakable team, and we celebrate your prosperous future together. This is your time, and I hope that both of you have enjoyed every minute of it. So it leaves me to propose a toast. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for Lucy and Gary, and join me by raising your glasses for what must surely be, especially after Gary's speech, the longest awaited toast in wedding history. A toast then to the bride and groom.